everyone, happy new month. Today in News Generation, pupils of Dago JHS get ultra-modern solar-powered ICT center. 3 British young girls have the whole world at attention. And free SHS starts this year. We have your views. My name is Ifo Akwa Harrison. Please stay with us. Remember, you can catch up with us on social media. It's facebook.com/newsgenerationgh. We are also on Twitter at newsgengh. The district assembly elections have been postponed. Have you heard about it? Maybe you have seen the posters around. Posters of candidates asking people to vote for them. They are to be elected to represent their people in the various district assemblies. But what are the elections all about?
The district assembly elections is similar to the election of the president and members of parliament. Their posters have been littered around for weeks. Qualified voters will choose assemblymen and unit committee members to represent them in district assemblies and unit committees, respectively. Though a lot of Ghanaians do not see the need, local government expert Eric Osei-Oduro says the election is crucial to our democracy.
The national level is parliament, where we have people elected as MPs on constituency basis to represent us there, so that they take decisions at the national level. At the local level, which is closer to us, is the local government. That one too, we elect people there because the communities are so large that all of us cannot go there. So we have to elect a group of people to go and sit there and then think about for us and then plan for us. That is why we do local government elections. And it's an election that is conducted to elect people called assembly members to go and represent people from various electoral areas for the purpose of decision making and planning for development.
But a lot of people do not seem to know what assemblymen do for development, especially in the big cities. But Eric Osei-Oduro says they do a lot.
They are very essential because if you don't have an assembly member, your voice is not heard. If you don't have an assembly member, when they are sharing the national cake at the local government level, you don't get your portion. If you don't have an assembly member, you don't get anybody to channel your grievance to the district assembly for resolution. If you don't have an assembly member, you don't get to know what is happening in the assembly level. If you don't have an assembly member, you don't know that the common fund is shared and that your community also deserves a portion of the common fund. So it is very, very important for every electoral area to have an assembly member.
The district assembly elections was expected to be held on Tuesday, 3rd March. However, the Supreme Court has declared the independent election as unconstitutional. One of the assemblyman aspirants sued the Electoral Commission for disqualifying him. He said he was not allowed to file his nomination even though the deadline for his nomination had not passed. The court has ruled the election as illegal, and so the election has been suspended until further notice.
After the 22nd of December 2014, had waited patiently to submit his form on the 22nd. When he got to their district office, he was told that nominations closed on the 21st of December. Feeling dissatisfied, he complained to the district and the regional office. He caused me to write officially to the Electoral Commission expressing such sentiments. Electoral Commission duly received this letter on the 14th of January 2015. To date, there hasn't been any response from the Electoral Commission.
For pupils in rural areas without electricity, learning information communications technology is a serious challenge. Most of the children have no option but to imagine what the components of the computer look like. Others have to walk long distances to use the computers. But pupils of Dago LAJHS in the Kriapim South Municipality don't have to go through this anymore.
This center has helped us in so many ways because we're having only one computer in the school and sometimes we don't even have money to go and buy petrol. So we cannot use it. But when this center came, when we had to learn ICT, we just come here and learn it, then we go away. So this thing is very good for us.
The full story of the solar-powered ICT class will be held on Wednesday, March 4, 2015. Now moving on to the Orthopedic Training Center workshop. News Generation has brought a series of stories from the Orthopedic Training Center where children and adults suffering from physical disabilities are undergoing therapy with the hope of walking again. Our visit this time around is to see firsthand how these walking devices are made at their workshop, which has been in existence for some time now. The Orthopedic Training Center was begun by the Divine Word missionaries in 1961. The primary purpose of the center is the rehabilitation of the physically challenged in Ghana and people across West Africa. Thousands of people have passed through the center or have received help they need from their mobile units, traveling through the country to offer their services to persons with disability. The Orthopedic Training Center workshop was set up to manufacture orthopedic appliances needed by the physically challenged in Ghana. Some of the equipment made here include orthopedic shoes, leg braces, artificial legs and arms, calipers among others. More than 6,000 patients every year get access to one of these working aids with the hope of overcoming their disabilities. Daniel Yabo Akwachi is the supervisor of the orthopedic workshop.
The transtibia is simple main prosthesis below the knee. The knee is there, and this is how we started. We put the bandage, the POP bandage in water. It soaks, go around the stump. Then after about 20 minutes, we take it off. Before then, we have some indications in the socket. You could see some blue marks in the POP, this thing. That is the pressure point where the bones are, where you have to take care and where you have to protect, saw, and so forth. We have the tibia bone pursue somewhere. You have to indicate all them with the blue mark before you take the measurement.
Besides the making of new working devices, the workshop also repairs old ones already made for patients. These repairs are normally done on Mondays, which is considered an outpatient day, meaning patients get to see the physiotherapist at the center. The orthopedic workshop, which was set up in 1965, has a shoemaking, prosthetics, artificial arms and legs, among other departments. Workers at the workshop work very hard to ensure they meet the deadlines for the production of working materials for patients. A special chair made for children suffering from cerebral palsy is manufactured by carpenters at the workshop.
This chair enables them to learn how to sit, whereby the mother also is trying to wash their things. And it will be there for maybe below 2 or 3 months. Then you see them sitting of their own. And finally, you see them also trying to hold walls, chair, and walk around in the house.
Polio patients and children with bow legs are not left out of working materials.
Okay, this is called the knee back slab. Knee back slab. And it's made out of plastics. That is PVC. Now we use it for plumbers use it. This is what we have been using for. And it's basically used for those who have bow legs between the ages of 1 to 5. So we use this to correct them in the night, and it helps a lot for the little babies. When they grow, before they grow, all these things will be straight. And we have also some for house plant But those who have the severe ones, we use this caliper to correct it also.
According to the director of the Orthopedic Training Center, Sister Elizabeth Newman, it has not been an easy task running the facility.
Well, it's not easy to run a center like this because it takes a lot of finances, it takes a good staff, and it takes a very knowledgeable and skilled staff. However, we put a lot of money in salaries, and that's difficult to come up with every month. We also face electricity bills. We know that Ghana right now at the moment, electricity, water, it's off, it's on, it's off, it's on. It costs us to run the generator. It costs us to pay the electricity bills. And our main purpose is to serve the people of Ghana who have physical disabilities, particularly the children. And so we try to keep our prices for the children low so that everybody can afford the services they need.
She is appealing to individuals and organizations to come to their aid to ensure children in need of treatment but cannot afford to pay are not turned away.
We're really looking for some of the big companies in Ghana and some of the individuals who are well off to come and to support the needs of the children that we have here. So we depend heavily on donations, and we're trying to get those donations more in the country than out of the country, because I think we've been here 53 years, and I think now Ghana can pick up and to help us and help these children so that parents who have children with disabilities will be able to help them, but it will not drain them so much.
Free SHS begins this year for day students. The president himself, John Mahama, announced this in his State of the Nation address. So what do young people think about this? Here are your views.
I think it's very good and will help in the development of the country so that people will not be left illiterate. There will be more literate than illiterate in the country. I think the borders should also be part, because those who are borders is very costly and the day is not costly, so I think the borders should rather be made to go to the free SHS before the day students.
I think it's okay because now if you don't go to SHS and you don't get a WASI certificate, you can't get a job to do. So nowadays companies don't take JHS certificate, so they take SHS certificate. So I think the free SHS to increase the literacy rate of the country and decrease the illiteracy rate of the country, and to make more people to know how to read, write, and perform simple mathematics. The free SHS is good for both day and border, but I think it will be wiser when the borders are made to when it starts with the borders, because if you want to go to boarding, it takes huge capital, and I think if the government invests in it, it will reduce the capital required for going to boarding, and so the parents don't have to pay huge money and pay lesser money, but the day students, they don't pay that much, so the government must finish with the borders before they go to the day students.
I think that they will all benefit, but the government should start with the borders, because it requires that at the boarding they need huge capital in the boarding, and also they also enjoy boarding facilities like bedrooms, fans, and also they enjoy games, whilst the day students also doesn't enjoy this capital.
It's help parents who don't have the money to send their boys to school. I would wish they would add the boarding schools to join the day school, so that it will help them in their learnings and study.
Free SHS reduces social vices in the sense that people who do not have anything doing and go into bad practices like armed robbery, stealing and all other things will be educated on the effects and the bad practices of all the things they do. To be very effective, because it will help It will help parents who don't have money and cannot send their students to school to have the opportunity to send their children to school.
Your views on WhatsApp. Now, 3 British girls have the attention of the world. They told their parents they were going out, but instead they ended up in Syria. That's what the world is talking about.
Would you join an extremist group? 3 British girls, Shamima, Amira and Khadiza, left their homes in London for an outing. The outing was actually a trip to Syria to join the Islamic State. All 3 girls were students of an East London school and had been on midterm break. The 3 girls flew to Turkey and then crossed the border to Syria. One of them travelled on her sister's passports. Their families learned of the girls' trip when they flew to Turkey, but the girls have not responded to appeals to go back home. Their minds were made up. Another girl from their school went to Syria in December. They had communicated through social media. Their life with the militant group is pretty much decided. Girls with the group marry a militant and in some cases become militants themselves. Girls like the 3 are usually attracted to join the Islamic State by others who are already within the group. They usually communicate online, painting a nice picture of life with an extremist group. Most find out quickly that the situation is not what they pictured it to be, but there's no way out for anyone who joins the Islamic State. What would convince you to choose a life with an extremist group?
If you are that type of smart child, you look at the things they have been doing to other religious groups, like the Nigerians, Christian religion. They've gone to the extent of exploding a church full of people in it. And a child wouldn't want to be killing people just like that. So I think the child, any way you convince the child will not join.
Sometimes children are always exposed to this kind of war films, and so they think that when I go into, or maybe this could be amazing. Or sometimes it could be the parent. Maybe the parent has done something to the child doesn't like and wants to take revenge on the parents' family.
I don't think a child will try having revenge on his or her parents, because if a child has revenge on his or her parents, the question is who will take care of the child?
The child can go into foster care, but a child, if you really love your parents, you wouldn't try to hurt them or their family.
And what will force you or what will you make up your mind to join an Islamic militant group?
Well, I don't think anything will force me or convince me to join an Islamic militant group. I will join if they decide to bring the girls they took back to their homes and change the way they ask for things.
To me, nothing will convince me. The only thing that will convince me to join them is if they decide to bring peace to their country back again.
How will an adult talk to a child for a child in his right senses to join Boko Haram team?
I think children have things they like most. Like if you are some 10-year-old, 12-year-old child and they want you to join that kind of group. Normally boys like video games and those action figure toys. You can bribe the child with a lifetime supply of those stuff and the child will be willing to join you.
You can also choose from children by their waistline. A man, maybe example like this. A girl, maybe a tough guy, maybe around 11, be sitting by the street, feeling harsh conditions, has not eaten for long. Maybe one member of the Boko Haram team will come and tell him that maybe if you join us to help for the Islamic State, I'll give you money to buy food, you got a house, shelter. The person will join because at least his parents are not there. Also his relatives are being so wicked to him to the extent of sacking him. So maybe he will take that challenge.
they can also treat the children in such a way that they may think that, oh, these people are good and they are better than my parents, so why don't I follow them? And then they can follow them to the look around camp to be trained.
In this world, I'll tell you, no one is perfect.
There are types of girls. Some are the calm type and the tough type. Well, if a Boko Haram decides to take both types, the tough ones, they might train them for them to be one of the warriors, and the calm ones might be servants or nurses to the other warriors who have been hurt.
They can be used for other slaves' work, like sometimes when you are very beautiful, they can they can sell you to men for their own use and work. Like for example, they can sell you to a rich man. They can send you to a slave market and sell you to a rich man. And when the rich man comes and buys you, he will send you to wherever he wants you to go, and you have no power over whatever you can do.
British police are reported to be in Turkey working to find the girls and send them back home.
Well, Sparkle students are back in school, but they are to pay 90 cedis before classes resume. There have been deadly bomb blasts in northern Nigeria, and actress Lupita Nyong'o lost a dress she wore to the 2015 Oscar Awards in Hollywood. It cost $150,000. That's almost 500,000 cedis. Can you imagine that? Let's take the details in News Round before we wrap up.
Some pupils of the Mamobi Prison's basic school in Accra were sent home on Thursday for misbehaving. The children had been caught drinking palm wine before class. A class 4 pupil was responsible for bringing the palm wine to school in a food flask. Some students of the St. Paul Senior High School in the Volta region are being sent home for not paying 90 Ghana cedis as directed by school authorities. The fees are to pay for damaged furniture during riots at the high school 3 weeks ago. Some parents are reportedly not happy with these directives. They say the Ghana Education Service has not approved the fees. Over 100 girls in parts of the Western region have been empowered on the significance of girl-child education. The girls who were selected from 15 villages were educated on the importance of education. Junior high school pupil Florence Ademan emceed the event, and she used the occasion to advise her colleagues. That story was courtesy Obed Ofori from Bibiani. In international news, bomb attacks have killed at least 32 people in northern Nigeria. The new attacks are believed to be a wave of violence from Boko Haram militants. A suicide bomber killed at least 17 people at a bus station in Bu. In Jos, 3 bombs thrown from a car killed 15 people at a bus stop. Nigerian presidential elections that were supposed to happen in February are now expected to take place in March 28. A Hong Kong woman has been jailed 6 years for abusing her Indonesian maid. Law Wantun was found guilty for causing bodily harm. She also did not pay the woman's wages. The maid drew global attention last year when she went to Indonesia for hospital treatment. In sports news, Everton are the only British side left in the Europa League after they beat BSC Young Boys 3-1 to go through to the last 16. Romelu Lukaku scored 2 goals to reach a total of 5 in the tie, which ended 7-2 on aggregate. Liverpool lost their first European penalty shootout as Besiktas knocked them out on Thursday night. Moving on to entertainment news on the local scene. Controversial rapper Kwakese is set to release a new music video. The single Yakubu, which is the lead of his 2015 Forever album, will feature Deborah, Vanessa, and Sarkodie. These are some of the behind-the-scenes photos from the shoot. Lupita Nyong'o's $150,000 custom-made Calvin Klein dress has been stolen. Nyong'o wore the dress at the 2015 Oscars. It is believed the dress was taken from her hotel room in West Hollywood. Hotel management is working with the police to find the dress.
They call us a gang.
That's gonna leave a mark.
It's showtime. Grab Sheldon.
Meant to be.
Oh, wait. I'm gonna take a picture and post it on Facebook.
What?
Joy Prime, real entertainment.
And that's all for this edition of News Generation. Remember, you can always catch up with us on facebook.com/newsgenerationgh. Also find us on Twitter @newsgengh. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your weekend.